Hey everybody, how's it going? Aaron Rift here, along with good old JM, Jeff Meacham. How you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing good. You know, it's funny you call me good old JM. I actually got recognized the other day for the old shows. So maybe appearing with you every once in a while and getting the nickname back thrown at me maybe is what happens to me when I go out in public. So, the guy from Cleveland, I forgot your name. Thank you for the recognition. We'll see how things go. Okay, anyway.
Well, this will make you more famous or more infamous, depending on how people react to this video.
Well, you know, with the way the card's shaping up for Sunday, I don't think it's going to be a very productive video. It's got a lot of decent matches, but it's not very deep.
Yeah, as of the recording of this video, we have 6 matches, and that's including the pre-show match.
Yeah. So it really depends on if they add more stuff, how long the matches go. I mean, you've got a 2 out of 3 falls match. That's going to go a while. So,
well, I think in this day and age with the network, WWE doesn't feel like they have to put together a complete stellar card because people are already subscribed to the network for just $9.99.
Yes.
And because of that, WWE can just, I guess, throw together cards at the last minute because people are going to be watching no matter what. It's not like you have to sell people on a pay-per-view because they're already getting it as part of the network.
True. And I need to throw a plug out also since we're talking about the 999 network.
Sure.
If you have a big TV, do what Aaron did, do what I did recently a few months ago, get a Roku. Roku is your friend, people. The network on my dad's TV in the living room is a beautiful thing. I can watch anything on there with a big screen, HD feed, and it's beautiful. So, get the Roku.
Well, I like the Roku, but I know some people have had good experiences with the Apple TV and even with the PS4.
Well, but if you can afford Apple TV, that's great. But if you have the TV already set up that you paid whatever you paid for your TV, whatever my dad paid for my TV, you know, just go with what you have. And the Roku is a little thing. It's like $40 on Amazon for the refurbished ones.
Right.
And they're beautiful. They work great.
And I think even WWE.com for a while was offering a deal where you get a Roku.
They still do. I think if you go to the Shop Zone, no, it's WWE Shop, not Shop Zone anymore. They have the whole kit set up in the shop area. Yeah. You can buy like the little streaming thing, the stick, the whole thing for like $100.
Yeah.
So.
But anyways, enough shilling of the network. I'm
yes.
sure most people will be watching it, whether it's on the network or traditional pay-per-view, which there are still people out there that, for whatever reason...
Yeah, and I want to ask you, are there do the ones besides the big 4 go on pay-per-view still?
Yeah.
They do?
But okay. I do believe that, Elimination Chamber is coming up soon, and I believe that's going to be a network exclusive, no traditional
Yeah, because there aren't 2 shows that day. That's going to be a challenge for them to pull off.
Yeah, but anyways...
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, let's get to the card here. Let's start off with the pre-show match. We have the battle of the parody tag teams, I guess you could say.
Yes, I'm gonna use the name that was used on the Raw pre-show Monday night. The Ascension, Connor and Victor against the Minor Powers, Axelmania and Macho Mandow. I do want to believe that they're gonna take this thing with Curtis and Damian and run with it.
Yeah.
Because Macho Man is still a hot topic. People still love and miss Randy. And Hogan will always be a topic. As long as he is alive, and even when he's dead and gone, thanks to the network, brother, he'll always be a hot topic in wrestling. So, if they're going to have somebody parody him, as opposed to a parody of a parody, Demolition, Road Warriors, The Ascension, you got to go with the Minor Powers.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the obvious prediction is the Minor Powers or... Mr. Perfect and the Genius, as I like to put it.
Well, in their original gimmicks.
Yeah.
Yes, because, Perfect was very much, Axel's thing better than Perfect, and then of course you had the intellectual savior of the masses, the masses Damian Sandow, but in their current gimmicks they're more mega powers than they are, or minor powers than they are. Yeah. Anyway.
Ascension, I mean, at this point, they're just a comedy tag team, and, they come out and they talk about how they don't like tag teams that try to knock off other teams.
Exactly. And I feel so bad, because if you watch NXT like I did when the network debuted, for that whole first year of WWE NXT being broadcast, the Ascension was dominant. They were kicking everybody's ass. And they were a solid tag team championship team.
They got demoted from NXT to the WWE main roster.
Exactly how I feel about everybody. That's why I'm praying they don't call Charlotte up. Don't call her up. Let her stay. Because, like, NXT's so much better. Anyway, go ahead.
But anyways, we both go with Sandow and Axelmania.
Yes. Axelmania, brother.
So let's move on here to the main card. We have the WWE Tag Team Titles match. 2 out of 3 falls, old school style. We have the Black Freebirds, a.k.a. the...
That is profiling.
Say it with me.
Profiling it wrong.
Say it with me.
Okay.
The
New Day Rocks.
Hey,
New.
I said New Day Rocks.
I know what I said.
I actually like the New Day now. I talked about this in my other videos that I've turned the corner on them. I think they're awesome now that they're heels.
You know, I want... Okay, my son Dylan's favorite wrestler is Kofi Kingston. He liked Kofi the minute he could start verbalizing who he liked in this world. He attached himself to Kofi Kingston. When we saw him in Access, Dylan ran to Kofi and embraced him for like a 2 minutes straight. But this gimmick is terrible. It's just awful.
But now that they're heels, you know, they're getting reactions from people.
Okay, but if you have to get the heel reaction to get that kind of gimmick over, I guess more power to you. Luckily for WWE, the 4 guys in this match, and also Xavier and Natalya at ringside, you got 6 solid workers.
Yeah.
So this match is going to be good.
Definitely.
You got the New Day against Kid and Cesaro. And, you know, they very rarely have the 2 out of 3 falls tag title match. I think the last one that I can recall that was really good, considering who was in it, was Demolition of the Heart Foundation in 1990.
That was one of my favorites.
It was one of the best matches Demolition ever had.
Yep.
And that was the Smash and Crush Demolition, and they were still good.
Yeah.
You know, but they very rarely have 2 out of 3 falls tag matches because they need to be built properly. But these 6 people can do it. And I'm going to go with the New Day to retain, as much as I hate them, because I love Tyson and Claudio. But I know, not the WWE
Claudio?
names. I know, not WWE names. Sorry. He'll always be Claudio Castagnoli to me.
Well, he'll always be Antonio to me.
Well, but you saw him as Claudio at Gorilla before he was even in WWE.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I refuse to call him by his last name. I like to call him Antonio, and I like to call Big E just Langston.
Well,
I like to be defiant like that.
So do you call Rusev Alexander?
Yes.
Okay.
Call him Alexander, and I call Neville Adrian.
I call Neville Pac. I don't give a shit who likes it either. But I'm going to go New Day to retain because they just finally turned them full-blown, embrace the heel hate. They can't go back on it now and have them lose the titles.
Yeah, it makes no sense. They're not really transitional champions. One would think they're going to be champions and have a lengthy reign. What I think is going to happen is New Day will win one clean, and then Kid and Cesaro win one clean, and then the last fall there'll be the shenanigans that help the New Day retain.
That was the favorite word of the Renegade Wrestling channel. I'm glad you picked that up. That's awesome. It's great word. Shenanigans is awesome.
All right, let's move on here to Dolph Ziggler versus Sheamus, a rematch from Extreme Rules. What do you think about this one?
Well, Ziggler won the last match, but Sheamus got the ultimate satisfaction in the end because he made Dolph kiss his arse.
Yes.
So, if they're going to have this feud continue, I see Sheamus winning, and then Dolph will win the rubber match later.
Well, I expect Sheamus to win this match, and what I think is going to happen is next pay-per-view Elimination Chamber, the IC title is going to be on the line. I don't know if you heard about that, but the IC title,
in the chamber?
Yeah, the IC title is going to be determined in the chamber, so they'll be in that match. I'm sure both of them, and I think Sheamus is going to win this, and I actually think there's a decent shot Sheamus will win the IC title in the Elimination Chamber.
Now, see, I like the fact that they're putting the secondary title in the chamber.
Right.
That shows that what they wanted to do with Bryan, elevate the title, they're going to keep doing it.
And also going back to earlier, now that you have the network and people are going to be watching regardless, you can experiment with things. You can do something that you might not normally do on a pay-per-view because people are going to be watching no matter what. So, if they fear that people will not buy a pay-per-view because the IC title is being defended, it doesn't really matter now because
people put down their $10 a month anyway.
Exactly.
But now, I report exclusive on NoDQ.com, by the way, about the tag team titles in the chamber.
Yes.
That boggles my mind.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Are they going to have...
I would think they're going to have three
tags,
teams,
yeah.
and then make it like a handicap situation until everybody's in.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll finally implement a War Games stipulation in there where everybody has to be in before the match ends.
That'd be cool.
But we'll talk about that on the Chambers show later. Anyway, so I'm gonna go with Sheamus to win this.
Yeah, it's kind of bad that we're talking more about Elimination Chamber now than Payback.
Oh, the Chamber is so popular. It always has been. And when it was taken away from us, we were like, no, fuck that, that's bullshit. And now it's back, we're like, oh, yay. Yeah. So, but again, this is... The one that's been added last minute is not the throwaway. The Sunday's pay-per-view is the throwaway show.
Exactly.
It really is.
But this should be a good card. But let's move on here. Next up, we have King Barrett versus Neville. Also a rematch from Extreme Rules. Notice a
and a rematch from the King of the Ring final. They've had a good little... I don't want to say feud, but program would be a good word for these two, because they're not really. There's not like this bitter hatred or anything. It's just they've been having great matches.
Yeah.
And Barrett, I've been a fan of Barrett from the original NXT days when he was Jericho's rookie, if you will. I've liked him from the get. I've been at Access. He's a great guy, and everybody that's followed us for the last almost 15 years, good grief. Knows we went to PWG and we saw guys like Neville, Pac, and he's tremendous in the ring. The stuff he's doing now is stuff I wish they let people like Evan Bourne do, like Tyson Kidd do, like all these other high flyers do, because Neville is doing the Red Arrow that he was doing at Gorilla and other places and in England, and just he's flying everywhere.
Right.
And he's tremendous.
Absolutely. As
far as a winner on pay-per-view, here's my theory. If they're gonna have Sheamus win, which I think they will, they can't have Barrett lose. Because at the end of the day, right now, Sheamus is Barrett's heavy. So if they're gonna have the lackey win, they gotta have the King win too.
This one is tough because Neville won at Extreme Rules and then Barrett won the King of the Ring.
Right.
So
this is essentially the big day rubber match.
Yeah, I mean, Neville looked really strong on Raw.
He did.
He hit the Red Arrow and perhaps would have won the match, but we'll never know because of Rusev. Because of that, I think it's okay for Neville to lose this one. I think Barrett coming off the King of the Ring should continue having momentum, especially if he's going to be in the Chamber match and be one of the odds-on favorites to win. Yeah. I think Neville works better as the underdog anyway, so I would go with Barrett here.
Yeah, the thing that's been tried and tested, we talk about this all the time, you and I in private, and when we get together with Mike and everybody, the tried and tested thing in the business is the underdog babyface chasing the heel champion. If Neville becomes champion this early in his main roster career, it's going to kill him.
It's too soon.
It's going to kill him. He needs to be chasing for a long time.
Yeah.
I love that. But him as NXT champion, did you watch NXT on the network at all, or do you get a chance to? I never really bought into him as the champion. When he beat Bo, it was a great moment, but he was champion for way too long. And then look, with Sammy, he lost to Owens right away, and now he's chasing again. Everybody's chasing Kevin, which it should be, because Kevin's one of the best heels of all time.
Yeah.
But Neville as a chasing babyface is better than Neville as a stagnant babyface champion.
I agree. So we're both going with King Barrett to win this.
We're agreeing on everything.
I do think it could go either way, though.
This is going to be one of the ones that's a sleeper match. It's going to possibly steal the show.
Right. Okay, so let's move on here to the I Quit match for the U.S. title. John Cena defending that evil Russian Rusev.
He is Bulgarian, people. He lives there, but he doesn't live in Moscow. He probably lives in Florida like everybody else. There is no conceivable way. If they're going to continue with John being the guy that's going to elevate the U.S. title again and bring it back to where it was in WCW, more so than it has been WWE the last 10 years, they need to have him not, again, never give up Cena. He can't quit, number one. Number two, Rusev has to not lose dominantly from Cena.
Yeah.
It's got to be one of those things where he gets mad at Lana, and Lana gets fed up and goes, you know what, fuck this, and throws in the towel or something.
Well, yeah.
I know that's the obvious angle, and I get that everybody's been talking about that, but in order for her to move on and be what WWE wants her to be, the top babyface female in the company, she's got to make a statement.
Right.
And Cena has to not just beat the crap out of Rusev, or vice versa. They both have to look strong, but so does Lana. This is a
Right.
very multifaceted match. It's going to be one of the matches that's going to be talked about the next night, Monday night. They're going to talk about this all week after it happens.
Yeah.
And as much as people don't like the fact that Cena's match is getting talked about again, he's a hot topic again because of the way he's being booked. And Cena's got to win, but Rusev can't look weak in losing.
Right.
So they have to do something with Lana, or, you know, maybe as horrible as his STF is, maybe Rusev is the one that passes out this time.
Exactly. He passes out from the pain.
Not the vice versa. And maybe even Cena locks in the accolade just to really shove it up his ass.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely think Cena's winning this one, and the most likely finish is Lana getting involved and somehow costing Rusev the match, and that leads to their breakup. I mean, it's very possible that she'll just throw in the towel for him, or even Rusev tapping out. Would not surprise me at all, because I really feel the character has run its course, and I don't see him getting pushed as heavily after this feud is over. I think he's going to end up going the way of Kozlov, and Khali's going to, 6 months from now, be a comedy babyface.
Well, again, you know, if they do this match Sunday properly, he can escape from this without having to become a comedy.
He could. As you mentioned,
all he has to do is have a week out, like Lana throwing in the towel, or, you know, him not giving up but passing out, and, you know, he could be like Stone Cold and the rest of the I never quit, and he could go on and, you know, make a strong run for the IC title, or, you know, maybe make a run at the heavyweight
title. Or who knows,
title.
maybe they'll do Cena versus Rusev again
well, it's supposed to be the final encounter Sunday, so we'll see how that plays out.
We all know how that works in WWE.
Exactly.
All right, so our main event match, the Fatal 4-Way. Seth Rollins defending against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Viper, Randy Orton.
And there's a stipulation added by the game on his return Monday. If Rollins does not retain, Kane will be fired as Director of Operations. Now, based on what I just said, Rollins will retain.
I agree.
And had Triple H not said that Monday, I would have no flipping clue what to say right now.
I was thinking Rollins all along, and now I just feel it's going to be Rollins even more so.
I had a strong inkling that Rollins would retain because they need to have him be a strong champion in Brock's absence.
Right.
Until Brock comes back and goes, by the way, let's revisit that.
Yeah.
But now that they've added this weak-ass stipulation, there's no way that they're going to have... Because Kane, as monster-ish as he looked Monday, without the mask on, he kind of went back a step to where he was, he'll never fully embrace that again. So if they're going to keep Kane around, which I like Kane, if they're going to keep him around, he has to be the corporate guy that's still kind of bucking against Rollins and bucking against Hunter and be that foil to both of them.
Right.
So they're going to keep him around in the suit, and they're going to keep Rollins as champion, probably till SummerSlam, like we talked about last year when Cena won the championship, just to be fed to Brock. I'm not saying Brock will dominate Rollins, get the title back, but they need to have a good, strong, solid... If they're going to take SummerSlam back to the East Coast this year like they're doing, they need to have a solid main event going in.
Yeah.
And Rollins-Lesnar is a good solid main event going in.
And that makes the most sense coming off of WrestleMania.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I agree. I think Seth Rollins will retain. I think Dean Ambrose is going to be the guy to take the fall based off of Raw. He was the last man standing, and makes sense to add him to the match, so he ends up being the one to take the fall, and that way Randy Orton doesn't have to lose 2 pay-per-views in a row, and obviously you don't want to have Roman Reigns take the fall.
Especially after coming off a dominant win over Big Show after coming back from getting his ass handed to him most of the match. Seeing him lift that announce table over the Big Show just put the stamp on that he is the strong guy right now, and to have him lose the fall would be detrimental.
Yeah, and the fact that Kane is involved now, I mean, obviously that's going to be the story of the match. It's not going to be some situation where the 3 Shield members all go heel and reunite and turn on Randy.
Much like the cage match, Kane is the story.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous. He's a guy in a suit.
Well, maybe we're going to have Rollins versus Kane at Elimination Chamber.
Which is fine, but the thing is, the only way we have Rollins-Kane would work, in my opinion, is if Rollins lost the title and Kane was fired and Kane was mad. Well, so how do they intricate?
Kane will reluctantly help Rollins retain the title and then just chokeslam him after the match, and that'll set up their match at Elimination Chamber.
Well, that's the obvious answer, I guess.
Yeah, so I think we agreed on everything, right?
We did.
So there you go. And I'm sure
that hasn't happened in a long time.
There'll probably be a Divas match added.
And if there is a Divas match, in any scenario, it's going to be Naomi and or Tamina and or both against the Bellas at some point.
And the title's not on the line. I suspect that the Bellas will lose.
Well, yeah. Again, they need to make Tamina. She just came back, so she's got to look strong. Naomi's just still turning this new facet of her career, or her character around. She's got to look strong. So, they got those two win. It's whatever form of the match it is. The Bellas don't need to win. The Bellas are the Bellas.
Yeah, so there you have it. NoDQ.com will have you covered. Live results. I'll be tweeting. Twitter.com/NoDQ, DOTCOM.
You watching here?
Yes.
I may take the bus over here.
So, maybe we can do a review video. We'll
there you go.
Wait and see.
You got better to do.
Yeah. All right, so thank you for being on today, Jeff.
Of course,
and
I'm always got to be around.
I'm sure we'll be seeing more Jeff on the NoDQ channel in the coming weeks. Stay tuned for that. Subscribe, youtube.com/NoDQCAW. See you guys next time.